everyone. So my name is Penny Trin. I'm with Marriott International. I've been with the company for over 15 years. And in my previous life, I used to do hotel development for Marriott in Vietnam, Thailand, and Singapore. And 2.5 years ago, I had the opportunity to look after branded resident development for Marriott in Asia Pacific, excluding Greater China. Our goal, whether we're doing hotel or branded resi development, is the same. We win when the owner wins, and we have a successful projects. I am invited by the conference today in order to do something a bit more different, have a candid conversation with our owner. So I'm very grateful today to have Mr. Sudeep Bhatt with Whiteland Corporation. So Whiteland is a fairly young organization.
4 years, yes.
Yeah. But behind Whiteland is Mr. Navdeep, who have more than 25 years experience in real estate commercial in India. And Mr. Sudeep also have almost 30 years of experience, despite his very young and youthful look. So my first time in India was actually 2 years ago, and it's actually not even a country, it's a continent. There's so much for me to learn, and I was very lucky to find one of my very first partners, Whiteland. And last year we signed our largest Westin standalone branded residence globally, and also our first standalone project in India. So the Westin gonna start launching the sale as of next week. So
Yes, around 5th. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sudeep Bhatt, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to share a story. Thank you, Penny. And yes, as she rightly said, 5th of next month, which is July, we would be taking this project live in the market. So we've been doing some friends and family sales, but in the right spirit, the project goes in the market on the 5th.
Yeah. So we've been in this journey together for almost 2 years. So I think it's the right time for us to sit down and have a kind of reflection. Right?
Why not? Yes.
Yeah. And also, even though I mentioned that Whiteland is a fairly new player in the market, but you have deliver almost 7 million square feet sellable area. And with this Westin project, we are looking at another additional 5.5 million square feet. So it's actually, yeah. So it's not a small feat for a very young organization. So the first question is that you are a fairly successful real estate developer. Why branded residences and why Marriott?
Okay, so, Penny said it is going to be a candid conversation, so we'll keep it candid. And, 4 years we've been doing development work, and the intent why Whiteland was founded in the first place was because we've been distributing real estate products before getting into development. And we realized that as a developer, only when you control the product, that is when you can, not just talk the talk, but also walk the talk. So it is with this intent that we started this journey. And Penny, branded residences were a natural progression for us because we realized that it is important to go up the value chain and also see to it that the market is also evolving like that. So if you typically look at how other developers in India have been performing, our learning has been that going up the value chain has primarily not just been about innovating in your product, but also being one's ability to marry real estate with hospitality. People who've been able to do that successfully, knowing unknowingly, have basically unlocked a very potential segment to investors and to end users. Very, very important part of a development journey is not just about curating a great product, but also taking care of that product post-possession. So when you have a partner like Marriott coming in, this transition becomes easy. And Penny said candid, so let me be candid with you. While we were evaluating a lot of our hospitality partners, Marriott was one of the most stringent. So we looked at the conditions, the clauses, and then we internally realized that if Marriott is at the top of the value chain, it is not without a reason. And if you have compliances, only then you could go up the value chain. So difficult for a young brand to be working with a lot of compliances. But yes, I think we made a good choice, Many.
If we have another conversation publicly, maybe may I request for you to use the word consistent instead of stringent? But thanks a lot. And also, kind of the next question, the project is Westin Residences Gurugram.
Sure.
Would you mind share a little bit in terms of the thought behind the selection of the Westin brand that to the audience?
All right, so this location where we're doing this project, it's called the Dwarka Expressway, which is the next growth vector in the Gurugram growth story for real estate. And the land parcel was fairly big. We were almost close to about 21 acres. And the number of residences that we were doing here was, I think, about 1,700. So the number was big. And, we jointly did a study of the market, and we realized that the kind of people who would buy into this product would be fitting more into the Western segment than the other brands that Marriott owns and manages. So primarily this age bracket of about 38 to 45 or touching about 50, a buyer who is well-traveled, who knows what brand is all about, what luxury is all about, but most importantly, they are people who are sensitive about the environment, who are wanting to contribute to a sustainable development. Since we realized that this is the kind of TG that we're looking at, so it was mutually discussed and agreed that Western would be the right fitment. And thankfully, yes, the product is under the making now. We'll be breaking ground now. And hopefully, we should deliver a product which is par excellence and should set the benchmark, not just for the market in our part of the country, but also for the global standards as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier, again, going back to the fact that Whiteland is a successful real estate developer, and it's always, and your founder, Nabit G, he has a very strong vision of what he would like to deliver in terms of product quality. And when you have a different cook in the kitchen, there are harmony, but they're also going to be I would say robust conversation and try to work together. So again, the theme of the conversation is being candid. Do you mind sharing a little bit in terms of I would say up and down, but like the how we work together and what are the experience and the lesson that you take from the process?
So, I do not know anybody, barring me and a couple of my colleagues, anybody from India? I see a gentleman there. All right. I see Mr. Sabu there. So, typically real estate in India till about 2017, was a very unregulated affair. And every developer who is buying land and getting into licenses and approvals, there was a lot of money not in being invested into the project. And with this kind of money coming in, it brought a certain amount of waywardness, if I'm allowed to use this word, till 2017, when the government made real estate an organized development under the real estate regulatory authority. So with this authority coming in, most of the development happening across the country is regulated by and large. Most importantly is the financial discipline which has come to play. Now, coming from that background and being a young developer, if consistent is the word that Penny insists that I choose, but our learning has been phenomenal with Marriott. I'll give you a small example, and since she said the theme is candid, so the approval process for our entire development was done in multiple phases, and in a certain phase, we did not provision for a garbage chute to be factored in the first phase of the development, and the approvals went through. And the second phase, as we were going through, Noreen, that process of getting those approvals done, Marriott's GDAP team figured out that we've not provisioned for the garbage chutes. So they said, hey guys, you've missed out on this one, you need to provision. We're on the verge of submitting the plans for final approvals to the authority. So we went back and we told, but then we did not do it for the first phase. And Marriott says, so what? If you've not done for the first phase, do it for the first phase as well. I said, but do you realize it's kind of going back to the drawing board, redoing everything, because shoots cannot be done without planning the course again. So the entire building course had to be redone. And we did it, so to answer that, we did that. And today we realize that it is a good thing that we took more time, corrected that. I was the one who gave a lot of logic to Penny and a lot of other people. We said, India is a country with a lot of manpower at hand, and these guys asked us, what does it mean? I said, we'll do that, that manual collection from every residence. They said, yeah, it doesn't work. Marriott doesn't work like that. So we went back, we kind of redid the plans. But then, yes, that's one of the many examples of how we improvised on our value offering to our client. So that's one of the things that I remember very, very candidly. And yes, now we've done a show apartment and experience gallery. And Marriott has been very, very helpful. So we did not think they will be kind of doing that many snag list and checks on how the progress has been. But let's see how it shapes up, Penny. On 6th, we should be opening it up. Yeah.
We appreciate your cooperation. So I think this is another question mostly related to sales and marketing. I know we have Sudeep here, who's head of sales and marketing sitting over there, but maybe you can also share a little bit in terms of the collaboration on that end, because it's also beyond just basically putting a logo on top of the building. So gotta just understand a bit more in terms of the process, the party work together.
So me and Sunit, we work very, very closely. And, for a young brand, it is good to be put into the right discipline of how a brand has to be put forth and taken to the market. So it's been a good learning experience for us. From a sales and marketing perspective, I should share that a lot of our buyers who know Marriott as a brand have been very, very happy and satisfied, and they just sat with us, discussed the layout plans and the financials, and that's about it. So they said, if Marriott is there, we're sorted. So both from a marketing as well as sales perspective, it's been a good journey, but then, we just begun, and there is a lot that needs to be done. Yeah.
So I think just one last question. You mentioned earlier one of the reason why you're looking at consider the Westin brand is given the newer generation of Indian buyers, they are looking more than beyond just buying an apartment, but also the living experience, and especially just given the environment around NCR, got a good, healthy living experience is very important. So what your experience so far in terms of sustainability and kind of green incorporated into the project?
So, couple of things that come to my mind primarily as we broach upon this topic. One of the things that anyone who is into selling of real estate would realize that generational living as a concept is something that we usually miss out on. If I have to ask you a question, how many of us actually, or how many of you actually still live in the same house that you were born in if there were no economic constraints? You'd realize that over a period of time, the houses that were built by our parents were good, but they lacked certain aspects of our aspirational living as we grow up and as we look at a different world. Now, generational living as a concept is primarily a process. In India, we live in joint families, and you would also have the grandparents, which is the first generation, their children, and the grandchildren as well. All three generations would have a different requirement from the product. And nature is something that everybody would invariably go back to. Thankfully, we had a brilliant partner who's doing the landscaping for us. And in about 21 acres, the intent is to have a minimum concrete footprint and create a green which is more attuned to our climatic conditions, where we have greens going throughout the year, we have foliage happening throughout the year, and more importantly, that ability to connect with nature is something that becomes real and apparent for our buyers. So that is something that we are striving to achieve with this development, and we should hopefully get that done, Penny.
Yeah. I think we've been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So again, just to close, and as I mentioned earlier, Whiteland is Whiteland is one of our very first partner that we work with ever since we launched branded residence in India, and I'm very grateful to your corporation and also basically your patience to deal with our consistency. So really look forward to your launch next week, and hopefully we can do more projects in the future.
Why not? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Penny.
Thank
and
you.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah.